Balanced armies, stacks, even the Doomstacks. All of them can work, and all of them will fail you at some point, because you're building standing armies with the wrong idea. Most players build armies in one of three ways. This is what a balanced army looks like. You have some infantry front line, some range units, some monsters, some fast units, a bit of everything. You feel safe and prepared. But you're not strong anywhere. You have tools for everything, but never enough of them. So most of battles will feel hard, some even impossible. Other players like to stack units. Here you recruit only one unit. It's simple to use, it's effective, sometimes. Other times it's completely useless. This Death Runner stack will completely counter dwarves, but as soon as they have to fight any large targets, they will just lose. Compare that to Balanced Army, and you can see the difference. Balanced Army always has a fighting chance, but most battles are tough. Stacked Army is the opposite. It's a cookie cutter. When it works, it's amazing. When it doesn't, it's a dead weight. Doomstacks are just next level, and they can be stack of one unit or combined arms of multiple units. They are very powerful, and they are very expensive. For one strong Doomstack, you can recruit 3 weaker armies, which together can do way more on campaign map. All of these approaches try to do the same thing, find right combination of units to make the perfect army for every situation. But that's the problem. Every army will fail in some way and at some point. So you're asking the wrong questions. When you build an army, you need to focus on 3 things. First, it's not what army should you build, but where this army is going. What direction are you expanding, who are you going to fight next, and who comes after that. Good armies are not just builds, they are also campaign tools. You do not build them based on strength alone. You build them to solve problems on the map over multiple turns. So when you build an army, decide not only what you are going to do with it immediately, but also how you will use it in turns to follow. Once you have a plan, the next step is simple. What units the army is going to face. Because every enemy brings different threats. Some are infantry heavy, some bring large units. Others have armor, resistances, missiles, abilities. There are always characters. So do you know what your enemies bring, and can your army deal with it? The plan decides where your army goes. Possible targets decide what it needs to kill. If your army cannot deal with the targets it will actually face in the battles, it doesn't matter how strong the units are. And there is one more layer. Your units need to work together and not just exist in the same army. This army has synergy problem. There is anti-large, you have anti-infantry. These units are all really good, but together they have no synergy. Once the battle starts, knights will charge forward and artillery is now exposed and left to die. So how do you actually build an army? In this dwarf campaign, the plan is to recruit an army that's going to capture Skavenblight, but on the way to it, same army has to deal with ogres and vampire coast, and then finally face Skaven forces. One of the best dwarf stacks, gyrocopter stack, would be a huge mistake for this task. It would have no trouble against ogres, but it would suffer greatly against Artosa and Skaven because their units outrange gyrocopters. Balanced army could do it, but every major fight would be an uphill battle. So what's good against ranged attacks, summons, and can also deal with ogres? What's good against all these factions? Well, all of them have mostly low armor, so guns are not necessary. Crossbows are good, but they would be targeted by enemy missiles. Ranger units have stock, which is a huge advantage over those threats. But they also have low ammunition, which can be a problem against massive Skaven armies. So what else can help? How about gyro bombers? They are good against infantry, they are mobile, and they are not liability against any of these factions, as there are not much flyers. Add a lord with Master Rune of Spite, a runesmith with Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and a couple of engineers, and you have an army that's going to smash through all these enemies. But here, Empire needs a defensive force to hold Eilhart until Karl-Franz is dealing with other threats. So it's not expanding, but defensive army. And it doesn't have to be a full stack. Kevlar forces have a lot of infantry and a lot of low-tier mobile units. Together with garrison, a small Empire force can hold Eilhart for a long time. Add a couple of heroes, and Eilhart is pretty much safe. Here are some more examples. This balanced army covers all bases. It's built with a plan to go against greenskins and then Tomb Kings. it has tools to deal with mixed armies of both factions. And there is synergy. All units have a role in a system that works together. But this balanced army is going after High Elves, after it dealt with Wood Elves. Instead of usual gunners, it has Hochland long rifles to outrange enemy archers. Both are built with a plan to fight multiple wars, not just one, and to counter specific threats those enemies bring. But if any of those armies are to fight Skaven, they will massively struggle. Now this Pistolier stack is the opposite. If you send it against any elves, they just straight up lose, because of their short range and no missile protection. But against pure melee factions, it can beat even tier 5 Doomstacks. They lack armor, but they have speed, and there they don't have to worry about ranged attacks. You can make this army early, use it against vampires, ogres, Norska, they will always come on top. But they also don't have armor piercing, so Bretonnia or Chaos Warriors are already a challenge. Same armies, different results. Doomstacks are a different story. They are deliberately built to win every fight, but the price for it is extreme, and not only in gold. The AI factions will just avoid to fight it, so you have very expensive army that most of the time has to capture minor settlements, instead of breaking strongest enemy forces. But if you have to deal with endgame crisis, Doomstack is the best option. So what is a good army? It can be both balanced or stacked, but the good army is one that fits your plan and needs, and it covers the threats you will actually face in the wars you're about to fight. No army is always good, it just has to be good for your situation on campaign map. Because rebuilding armies is expensive, both in gold and time. For every turn you spend sitting in a settlement and re-recruiting units, the legendary AI will build its forces twice as fast. So you lose momentum, and then you need even stronger army, so you recruit again. And the problems stack against you, and you get into disaster situation instead of winning the campaign. You do not win by constantly fixing your armies. You win by using them correctly. Every army works somewhere, and every army fails elsewhere. You should not look for the perfect build, you should send the right composition into the right war. And if you're about to start a new war, you do not need just a new army. You will also need to fix your formations. And this video explains why some formations work and others do not.